Good morning, children. Welcome. Today we are going to see a very interesting topic, that is control and coordination. In this chapter, we are going to see how our body works very efficiently, and you can do and reflex your body to various functions and various surroundings around you. Okay, so let us start this chapter. It is very interesting, so just pay attention more towards this lesson, as it is also very important lesson for your exams. Okay, so control and coordination. What is control? Take an example of if you are driving a vehicle. Okay, what is control? What is present in your vehicle to control your speed? The brakes are present. Okay, the gears are present. Correct. So what does it function? It has a power of regulation to be started, slowed down, or stopped. Correct. You can either start a vehicle, slow down a vehicle, or stop a vehicle. Same case is in a human body. So control is a power of restraint and regulation by which something can be started, slowed down, or stopped. Okay, so not just control, we have various kinds of organ systems in our body. So all the organ systems must be function together. So to function together, you must be uh, you must need a coordination in your body. So coordination is the orderly working of different but interrelated parts so as to perform one or more activities smoothly. Correct. If you are playing a football, okay, your hands must work, your legs must work, your eyes must work, your ears must work. Okay, so all the systems are working together. So this is known as coordination. Okay, so did you get why we are learning this topic now? The control and coordination. Okay, so why do we need to control, or why do we need to coordinate between these organ systems? Because due to some sudden changes in the environment, we need to get a control over the actions done by us. So what sudden changes are done in the environment? Those are stimuli. Okay, the changes in the environment to which living organisms respond are called stimuli. Example, you can take heat, cold, sound, smell, taste, touch, pressure, gravity, water, etc. Okay, for this example, living organisms respond to stimuli in the form of body movements. Okay, now we are listening to my video. Okay, but some of the students, what they will do, they will just keep on the video and they will be just looking here and there, and in between, if I shout, excuse me, where are you looking, look at the video and listen to my lecture, what they will do? Oh, ma'am is shouting to us. Okay, so this is called stimuli. I gave you the stimuli and you got the response of that stimuli. You gave me the response to that stimuli. Okay, did you get what is stimuli now? Okay, so what is coordination in terms of definition now? For a proper response to the stimulus, many organs in the body should work together. The working together of various organs in an organism to produce a proper response to a stimulus. Okay, not just a response but proper response to a stimulus is called coordination. Okay, so in animals and plants there are two types of coordination. In animals we have nervous system and endocrine system, and in plants we have chemical substances called plant hormone, or they are known as phytohormones. Phyto means plants and hormones are the form of chemicals. Okay, next we are going to see in detail now. First, coordination in animals. Okay, as we have discussed earlier that we have two types of systems, that nervous system and endocrine system. So first we are going to see about the nervous system. So nervous system consists of brain, spinal cord and nerves. Okay, in this nervous system we have some functional units. Okay, we have some functional units. They are known as receptors, the effectors, sensory nerves and motor nerves. Okay, so what are the receptors? Receptors are the sense organs which receive the stimuli and pass the message to the brain or spinal cord through the sensory nerve. Okay, so receptors means what? There are like you can say there are sensors in our body. Okay, we have the sensors in our body. If the light comes, then we have the photoreceptors. To hear the sound, we have the phonoreceptors. To detect the smell, we have the olfactory receptors. Then for the taste, we have gustatory receptors. And for the skin, we have tango receptors. Okay, you have to see the meaning of that receptor so that you can learn those words also. Okay, photoreceptors. Photo means what? Light. Okay, so they are present in eyes. Phonoreceptors. Phono means phone. We hear through the phone, so sound. Then it is present in ears. Olfactory. Olfactory consists of nose. So it is to detect the smell. Gustatory. Gustatory means tongue. Okay, gustation is tongue. So to detect the taste. And tango receptors in the skin to detect the touch. Okay, now we come towards the effectors. Receptors are for receiving and effectors are for responding. Okay, receptors take the stimuli, effectors responds to the stimuli. Okay, effectors are the muscles and glands which respond to the information from the brain and spinal cord through the motor nerves. Next are the sensory nerves. Are the nerves which carry information from receptors, that is only sense organs. Okay, sensory nerves are present to the sense organs, to the brain and spinal cord. Motor nerves are the nerves which carry information from the brain and spinal cord to the effectors, that is muscles and glands. Okay, so here is a flow chart of the nervous system. We have three types of nervous system: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and autonomous nervous system or autonomic nervous system. Then central nervous system consists of two main components: brain and spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system consists of cranial nerves and spinal nerves. And autonomic nervous system consists of sympathetic nerves and parasympathetic nerves. Okay, in this chapter we are more concerned about only central nervous system and its components, that is brain and spinal cord. Okay, so here is the human nervous system. See the diagrams over there. First is of central nervous system and second is of the peripheral nervous system. The parts of nervous system consist of central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. You can see the picture over there of a boy who has a brain and a spinal cord. This is known as central nerve. Why it is known as central nervous system? Because the brain and the spinal cord is present in the center of our body. Okay, so it is known as central nervous system. And the peripheral nervous system consists of cranial nerves arising from the brain and spinal nerves arising from the spinal cord. That is, the brain is also known as the cranium. Okay, the box around the what you can say brain is known as cranium, and therefore the nerves arising from the brain are known as cranial nerves, and the nerves arising from the spinal cord are known as spinal nerves. Okay, so what they do, the nerves are not present in the center of the body. What they are doing, the nerves are spreading away from the nervous system, central nervous system, correct? They are spreading away from the brain and the spinal cord. So that is, in short, they are present in the periphery, correct? Periphery means what? Along the sides, correct? So that's why this nervous system is known as peripheral nervous system. Okay, so this is now what we are going to see is a nerve cell or a neuron. Okay, this is a very 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 important topic, and in terms of your exam, this is a very you can say marks gaining question, you can say here. That is a very important and very easy question. Okay, you just draw the diagram or just learn the diagram of this neuron and you will get the full marks. Okay, just remember the labelings of this neuron. Okay, so we will see now what is neuron or a nerve cell. Okay, the neuron is a structural and functional unit of nervous system. Just mark this line very carefully. Okay, it can be asked as a MCQ question. Neuron is a structural and functional unit of nervous system. It has a cell body called cyton. Okay, see in the diagram the cell body is shown there in the violet color. Okay, that is the cell body. So that is known as cyton. And what does it contain? It contains nucleus and a cytoplasm. Okay, these words have gone earlier in your lower classes. Okay, you know what is nucleus and cytoplasm. It has several branched structure called dendrites. You can see the branches coming out of the cell body. They are known as dendrites. It has a long nerve fiber called axon. Okay, starting the yellow color, what you can see there is known as long fiber branched is known as the axon. Okay, long nerve fiber called axon, and this axon is covered with a protecting covering. Okay, the axon is covered with a protective covering called myelin sheath. Myelin is one of the protein. Okay, it is covered with a myelin sheath. And now there are at the end also, at the starting in the cell body we have the dendrites, and at the end of the neuron we have the axon terminals. Okay, and in between those axons, okay, two axons are joined by the node of Ranvier. Okay, you can see the two yellow cells are joined together by a node of Ranvier, and in the yellow color cell you again have an orange color circle over there, so that are known as Schwann cells. Okay, they are known as Schwann cells. Okay, so now this is a just one neuron. Okay, like this neuron you have millions and trillions neurons in your body. Okay, so these neurons are joined together whenever there is a what can say a response to a stimuli. So the functioning is done between two neurons. Okay, there is a junction between the two neurons, and this junction is known as synapse. Okay, and in this synapse all the functions is done over here. Okay, so what is synapse? Synapse is a joining between two neurons or the one neuron and one muscle end. Okay, there can be two neurons joined. See, if this is a one neuron and this is one neuron. Okay, so both are joining here, so this in between can be a one synapse. Okay, another is if this is a neuron and this can be a muscle cell also. So there's again one synapse, that is the neuromuscular synapse. Okay, this is known as neuromuscular synapse. So message passes through the nerve cell in the form of chemical and electrical signals called the nerve impulse. Okay, so what is carried in these nerves is known as nerve impulse, and these are in the form of chemical and electrical signals. The dendrites receive the information and starts a chemical reaction which produce electrical impulse which passes through the axon. Okay, so this stimuli is taken from the dendrites, and then they start receiving the information from the dendrites, and then they start the reaction, chemical reaction which produces electrical impulse, and then they are passed through the axon, and then traveling through the axon it comes to the axon terminals, and then it comes in the synapse. Okay, Here is the arrangement of neurons. See what I have told you before. I'll take my camera up so that you can see the diagram. See here, the diagram is given, the enlarged diagram of synapse. Okay, this is a synapse. The end of the axon is given over there. There's a axon terminal is given. The chemicals are they are traveling through the dendrites. They are converted into chemicals, and then chemicals and are converted into the electrical impulse, and they are transformed through, they are traveling through axon, and then axon through axon terminal, and then they are coming into the synapse. Okay, see in the figure you can see over there the chemical balls are present inside, and then there is a receptors. Okay, pink color, there are the receptors, and the bulb shape you can see, that bulb shape is known as the nerve ending, and the below receptor part is known as muscle ending. Okay, that is presynaptic membrane and postsynaptic membrane. Okay, this is known as presynaptic membrane and postsynaptic membrane. That is, see here, I'll show you. If this is a neuron, okay, this is a neuron, and this is a, again, muscle membrane is coming here. Okay, so the synapse, I can say that electrical impulse is traveling here and coming to the synapse, and then it is transformed to the muscle, that is neuromuscular junction. So here what is forming, it is neuromuscular junction over here. Okay, so this one is known as presynaptic membrane, and this one is known as postsynaptic membrane. Okay, so neurons are arranged end to end forming a chain, and in this type the many synapses are formed. This helps in continuous transmission of impulses. Each neuron receives an impulse through its dendrite and transmits it to the next neuron in the sequence through its axon. This we have seen in the last slide. Then the neurons are not connected. Okay, what they form, they form a synapse. Or synapse means what? It is a small gap which occurs between the axon of one neuron and dendrite of next neuron. Or there is also another synapse known as neuromuscular junction, that is a synapse in a muscle fiber is also known as neuromuscular junction. Okay, in detail you do not have the working of synapse, so let us move forward. Okay, see the diagram is given over there, the two dendrites, how the two neurons are joined together to the synapse. Okay, you can see the box over there, the synapse which was enlarged in the previous slide. Okay, there are two neurons over there, and two neurons are joined together by the synapse. Okay, so now what are the types of neurons? There are three types of neurons: the sensory neuron, motor neuron, and relaying neuron. Okay, so first we can see the sensory neuron over there. They are the nerve cells within the nervous system responsible for converting external stimuli from the organism's environment into the internal electrical impulse. That is, all the sensory organs convey the stimuli from the environment, and then they are converted by these sensory neurons into the electrical impulses. Next type is of motor neurons. Motor neurons are nerve cells forming part of a pathway along which impulse pass from the brain or spinal cord to the muscle or gland. What they are doing, the motor neurons, when the nerves, sensory nerves, they collect the information from the sensory organs and take to the brain and spinal cord, and now the again the response must be taken to the organs again. So this work is done by the motor neurons. What they do, the impulses which are created in the brain or spinal cord is taken from the brain or spinal cord to the muscle or a particular targeted organ through the motor neurons. Next is the relaying neurons. They carry messages from one part of the central nervous system to the another. Relaying, correct? You know the game relay. Okay, in the sports you play relay. Relay, what you do? You just baton, what you do with the baton, you just pass those baton to the another one. So same thing is done with this relaying neurons. They carry the messages from one part of the central nervous system to the another central nervous system. Okay, so children, here we have completed our central nervous system introduction, and now we are going to see in detail the two parts, that is brain and the spinal cord, okay, in the next video.